Coming up next on stage, this is the guy that put that together. He's an amazing comedian, and I saw him play guitar, and he fucking rips. So everybody, welcome Mr. Andy Wood.
It's a pleasure to be here. I want to pass along a little tidbit of info I learned recently. I'm a big fan of collective nouns, like how you call like a bunch of lions of pride or a pod of dolphins, murder of crows. I just found out today that the term for a group of bros is an affliction. Affliction of bros. Didn't know that. It's great to be here at NerdMelts in a comic book store, but this like wave of nerd popularity that's happening right now is like really bittersweet for me. Because like I'm a fucking for real dyed-in-the-wool nerd, but like this whole thing has passed me by because I put my adolescent money on all the wrong nerd horses. Like, I was into comic books, but nothing that ever got cool. Like I was into like Gru the Wanderer and Disney comics. Like I still have strong opinions about who drew the best Donald Duck. It's Karl Marx. Karl Marx clearly drew the best Donald. I went through a big yo-yo phase. Origami enthusiast. Old-time radio show, that was a couple years, I was into those. And that's never gonna come back around. None of that's, in the past decade, none of that has like circled back and gotten anybody laid. Like there's not gonna be a resurgence in Fib McGee and Molly appreciation anytime soon. It's just a bummer. But I'm a real nerd. Like I was on the math team. I have a degree in electrical engineering. Like it's legit. And if I hadn't done comedy, I think I would have tried to go into pro wrestling just to see if I could use my math skills to bring to bear like some new fractional Nelsons to the lexicon. We all know what a full Nelson looks like. Yeah, you've seen a half Nelson. How about a 3/8 Nelson? What is that? What is it, 5/16? Can you do an irrational Nelson? It can't be expressed as a ratio of two integers. Like, how do you get out of a pi Nelson? How do you get into an E Nelson? I don't know. That's what I would have done. So I'm a big nerd. Which is why it's even stranger that I'm saying the next sentence, which is that I just returned from my second Burning Man. Never would have thought I liked it, but I fucking love it. I don't know what it is. I do know what it is. What am I saying? It's fucking awesome. But it's great that they have this elaborate culture built up there. And part of it is everybody has like radical self-expression as part of it. So everyone has elaborate costumes, outfits. But that always stresses me out. Like nothing stresses me out more than costumes. Like I was lazy, so by default I just went as the guy everyone assumed is a cop. And it was like the entire week, narc. Oh yeah, it was great because like radical inclusion of everybody is part of the like guiding ethos of it. But that's like unless your face that you have no control over has like a copish look to it, which means fuck you, narc. You're the man. Yeah, it was a bummer. And I'm not a narc. I'm not a cop. I'm not a Republican. I think people assume that. I've never given a sincere tattoo compliment, but I'm not a Republican. I voted for Obama. I swear to you, I was born in a factory town, a cheesecake factory town. I'm not a Republican. I don't know how people of our generation become Republicans. Like, do you just binge watch 2 seasons of Homeland and then some circuit misfires in your brain? Trickle-down economics just needs one more chance. I think it's going to happen this time. It makes no sense. I don't know how. We're living in a strange time now of like hyper tolerance, though. I feel like everyone is so vigilant about all social issues. Like I was dating this girl who was like really, really too racially sensitive. Like she couldn't admit that any two black people could look at all alike, because that would just be inherently racist. And we were watching a rerun of Sister Sister. I don't see a similarity. I guess I'm a little more evolved than you are. I noticed a disturbing trend this past New Year's Eve that really has been going on for the last 5 years or so. It involved those novelty New Year's Eve eyeglasses with the date written across them. I think most people don't realize this, but like 1990 through 2009, that was the golden era for novelty New Year's Eve eyeglasses with the date written across the glasses. I mean, if you were working at the novelty New Year's Eve eyeglasses company, those 2 decades, you were living high on the hog. It was like Wolf of Wall Street, like people were buying boats. It's never gonna end! I feel like no one even saw it coming. And there was like a big shareholders meeting in 2009, just doing coke off the strippers and stuff. And one accountant in the back of the room like timidly raises his hand. He's like, guys, I've been trying to say something for months. But come January 1st, 2010, we are fucked. We're gonna be fucked until 2060. Next time we can put some eye holes in the fucking numbers. And it just chaos, people diving to their deaths out of windows and shit. Finally, the CEO takes to the podium, calms the room down, and is like, fucking, we're putting eye holes inside the goddamn number one! It was like a slow clap. Standing ovation, and that's what New Year's Eve parties have been ever since. It makes no sense. I'm hitting a lot of milestones recently, life milestones that we all hit. Like last year I had this thing happen, we've all been there. When you go on Facebook and you see that the girl who was your first kiss back in 6th grade has been arrested for throwing a shoe at Hillary Clinton. All been through this, right? That is 100% true. You can Google that. Allison Ernst, her name, my first kiss, circa 1990, back in Ann Arbor, Michigan. And if you do search for it, I would recommend a Google image search and pay close attention to the pictures of her being frog marched out of the convention center in handcuffs after having thrown a shoe at the possible next president. You'll notice she's wearing 2 flip-flops, indicating she brought an extra throwing shoe. It was a premeditated shoe throwing at this one. I mean, that says a lot about my taste in women, though, because like I like them crazy, but I respect the planner. Gotta give it up for that. I'm single. Anybody here in the room who's dating can probably attest to the fact that like for the last 4 or 5 years, somehow like choking has now become standard issue sex practice. That's like baseline. That's like what the blowjob was 25 years ago. I feel like choking is having its moment. It's cresting right now, and it's just fucking. It's surprising. I'm not doing the choking. I should mention, by the way. What if I was like, why do I keep choking these women? Is this some kind of fad? What's happening? But like I don't want to get alarmist about the pornification of culture, but like everyone's thresholds are just getting so crazy. Like you know right now there's a 16-year-old named Trevor somewhere who's dumping his girlfriend because she won't punch him in the face while he's coming. Because she's waiting for marriage, like a lady does. I know that's happening. I don't have any kids, and a lot of my friends are having them, and it bums me out to see how they do it. Like, none of them are doing it well. And people are proud of how little prep they do for having families. Do you guys have friends that are like that? Like, why are you, like, my parents didn't fucking get ready. We turned out fine. Like, did you turn out fine? Like, I don't know. That should be so assumed. And why are you so proud of the lack of prep? Like, you're proud you didn't read a book to get ready to have a kid. I'll read a book to get ready to have a podcast guest. Yeah, good luck with that human life you didn't study for. That's fucking. I know I can come off like a know-it-all, but there's plenty of stuff that I only recently learned that I know I should have known a long time ago. Like until last year, I thought when people talked about killing themselves by putting their head in an oven, that they were referring to burning their head off. Anybody else grow up with an electric oven back home? Like, it's the gas is what does it. I had no idea. I just thought sometimes you just get so sad. You just preheat to 800 degrees. Like, we're doing this. Be a browning of the skull that would have to take place before the sweet release of death. I've been Andy Wood. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hooray!